So right here with the 770 KLX250, it's going to be pretty interesting. One, because I have the TKC 80s, and this is like a V-shaped type of single track. We all know the KLX250 and the 701 is mostly meant for exploring, not for racing. Our minds and attitude are more of a relaxed state and just in it for the ride. So speed is not really the thing here, but more of how capable these heavy bikes are when it comes to exploring. But for a while now, we all know the 701 and 250 can do forest roads and basic 50-inch trails. We are trail riders looking to enjoy the scenery and just get outdoors, but we want to be prepared when something comes along our way. But let's push these bikes a little bit to its limit on tight single track. Now, I have done many single tracks around Colorado and Utah, and to be honest, I was a bit nervous taking the big bikes on 770 versus any other single track because 770 is not your average single track. On video it looks flat, it looks flowy, it honestly looks like a beginner single track. But we all know by nature, single track is hard by design, but we all know some are just easier than others. 770 trail though is a very unique trail system because the constant V-shaped single track really plays with your mind. But it's not just that, it's also the edge on where the trail is carved out. Your pegs are always just centimeters away from the terrain, which can easily get hung up, and not to mention handlebar locking turns, and tight trees that comes an inch or two away from your handlebars. But overall, the design of 770 is very unique because it's carved on the side of a mountain, meaning your wheels always has to be aligned, and that's what makes 770 pretty difficult. You constantly have to stand up because sitting will easily make you lose your balance and your wheels constantly move along the grooves. Set me free. Come on. Add all this together with handlebar locking turns and you got yourself a pretty decent proper single track. And all of this never comes to justice on video until you see it in person. So I figured what better way to really test the capabilities of the 701 and the KLX250 on actual proper tight single track. Not to mention I mostly ride my two-strokes, so I can really play a fair comparison between three categories of bikes. The 701 being the heaviest at close to 400 pounds fully geared, which I already weighed, KLX250 at 300-ish pounds fully geared, or the two-stroke which shines in this terrain. I'm gonna tell you right now, guys, this single track is very popular with dirt bikers. But I tell you what, look, the KLX250 and 701 enduro handles this tight single track. I know in camera it's gonna look very easy, but it's tight, and the whoops are just huge. Not huge like MX huge, but it's enough to really cause some strain, like right here. See, and then the camera probably looks super flat. But we're about at the end of this single track and totally capable.
It's not hard single track, it's tiring. It's a tiring single track.
With proper tight single track, it's amazing to finally see what the KLX250 and 701 can do. The KLX250 was mostly ahead of the game, and the rider who was on the KLX250 was his first time on single track, but he has a boatload of experience on technical 50-inch trails and passes. I, on the other hand, have more experience on single track on rockier terrain. However, the KLX250 was a bit faster on this 770 single track, but the 701 shined in 50-inch trails and open roads, mostly because you can really unleash the power. Towards the end of the single track, I was extremely fatigued and tired, and I found myself sitting down a lot and making a lot of mistakes.
This is definitely one of them. Fuck.
Yes, on the two-stroke, I am way more confident to go faster, but this could also be due to how fast I got tired. What really wore me out on the 770 was the constant standing to fight the bike on the turns, and of course the whoops. Notice 770 is just full of turns, and most of the time never goes straight. I do remember also when I took my KLX250 on 770, it was much easier to maneuver and much easier to stand up straight.
So I decided to take the longer trail. I think this is about 7 miles of single track, or 10, around there. And so far I'm fine. I mean, a little winded, a little tired, but nothing out of this world, you know. I do have to stop a few times here and there just to catch my nerves. That's because I'm probably a new rider. I've been riding for about 7 months, and this is like, I think, my 4th single track I've ever taken. I was really curious about the KLX250, you know. I was like, I wonder how the KLX250 feels on single track. And dude, it feels fine.
Yes, this was older footage, but I remember the KLX250 being a lot more nimble and a lot less tiring versus the 701. So overall, I am really impressed with the KLX250 can do out in this terrain. I believe this is a great bike to have. You can dual sport around, and it can definitely do some legit single track. Anyhow, go ahead and subscribe, hit that bell button so you guys can watch me tour around Colorado, Utah, Arizona, and all of its neighboring states, and I'll catch you guys on my next video.